Welcome to another episode of Releasing 100. I'm your host, Lisa McHale, and I'm with Hurray Kimmay Caldwell.
Hooray!
Thank you for being here.
My
I
pleasure.
I love her already, and I want to tell you why. So I met Kimmay, I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago within that window in a women's mastermind called Millionaires Crew. And when she popped on the screen, she had a bunch of bras. For those of you who are listening and cannot see, she's got like a rack behind her, and it was just bras. And during the time I had just discovered that I was like stuck in this 5 pound range after like cutting so much weight because I didn't want to give up my like the bras and underwear that really made me feel good over the past 2 years. And after
Yep.
losing 65, 70 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
there was like a gaping hole between me and the lace.
Bit
And
two of you in there.
I was so sad. And so I hijacked the beginning of the call and was like, why do you like, what's up with the bras? And she just told me what she did. And immediately I was like, I need to talk to her one on one. So this is Hooray Kimmay. That's the name of her website. So if you want to check out her stuff and who she is, Hooray Kimmay. So that's, anyways, we'll put it in the description. But I want to give her the floor right now because she is like, she's totally the right person that I should have met that day. Why?
Yes,
Tell them why. Tell
hooray.
them why, Kimmay.
Okay, hooray. I'm so excited to be here. This is great. Yeah. So when Lisa and I met, we had no idea what each other did for business. And I was in my office and I have right now there's a bunch of clothes and pajamas on there, but before there's some bras, but there were tons, there's just bras. And she was like, "Oh, I like that you just have your bras out there." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I've got bras there. And of course I have them like in the drawers and there and there and there. I have like, over 200 bras." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually I work in undergarments for a living." And she was like, "Oh." So then she was like, "What do you do?" And so I let her in. So for all of you who do not know me and what I do for a living, I am an undergarment educator and a self-love coach. And I have been working in the undergarment industry since 2005, January 2005. So it's now 16 years. Oh my gosh. And I fit thousands of people for bras from double A cup all the way up to N cup and everything in between. And you mean I lived in New York City for 16 years, so I did a lot of my fitting there. And it's a very diverse place. Also, hey to you Canadians up there. I grew up in Rochester, New York, which is right across the lake from Toronto, and I absolutely love Canada. I've been on the Marilyn Dennis show 6 times. I love them over there. And here I've done the Rachel Ray show many times. And every single time I talk about bras and undergarments and how to wear them, how sizing works, whatever. I feel like there's always at least a handful of people who reach out to me that are like, "Oh my gosh, I've been wearing bras for 40 years of my life or 30 years of my life or whatever, and I like never knew this." So as an educator, I break it down, make it really simple, and then as a self-love coach, I help people use undergarments as a way to honor their body, support themselves, and almost like create a ritual at the beginning and end of each day. So many people, Lisa, hate wearing bras. They rip them off. And there's nothing wrong with deciding not to wear bras, but I want people, if they do want to wear bras, make a loving and informed decision about what they put in their body. And so, of
I'm gonna
course, I was going to say, so of course, in those thousands of people that I fit, let's be honest, a lot of them were going through a weight gain, weight release, body change journey. And so I'm really excited to be here and to talk about this with you.
I love it. I have been talking about how life has been magical and synergistic and literally, I mean, I'm one of those people. And a couple of years ago, I made a decision to invest in undergarments. Like I was already feeling like, like I just got to do something for myself as a single
Mm-hmm.
mother. Like you're giving and giving and giving all the time. And I was like, I just want something nice close to me. You know what I mean?
Yes. Ah,
Like,
yes.
yeah. And so when you said that you were like a coach also for this, I was like, absolutely, definitely need to talk about this because I naturally did this. And so I lost my mom when I was 14 to breast cancer. So I did
Mm,
not have somebody kind of like show me how to do the bra fitting and whatever. So I went into my favorite mall in the city. For those of you who know, it's Bayview Village. Um, Boutique
hooray.
mall, and there was like a lingerie store in there, and I was just like, look, I just want to have, like, tell me how this is supposed to go, right? And I was maybe 45 at the time. like
Wow,
45,
yeah.
okay?
Yep, yeah.
And walked in, and she explained it to me, and I was like, one, like sticker shock, because
Mhm,
I never,
mhm.
like you just don't know how much these things cost. And I was like, whatever, just I'm worth it. One. And I mean, this is something that's going to support my body, my
Yep,
womanhood, or whatever you want to
yep,
call it. And it was the beginning of the collection of items that just, I wanted them to match. I wanted that, like, it was, nobody could see it. It was really for me.
exactly.
Right.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I'm going to
Yeah.
stop talking just so that you can talk. And then I do want to share like what happened after the release of the weight and like how I got stuck. But so talk
Yeah,
to
we
us
can.
about now that you can't even go into to malls to go get fitted. Like I'm sure you do something, you've adjusted your business model too. But
Yeah,
what is the concept of like what you do, educating, self-love, and then fitting? Because that was a magical experience for me. Because I was like,
yeah.
whoa, like I look good in this thing,
Yes, yes,
right?
that's exactly the you mean, listen, the fitting room is a really you mentioned magical. The fitting room is a really magical place, and I think for some people, they've had some really traumatic experiences in bra fitting rooms and or it's a really, like, frustrating experience or they don't have any help, and like you said, you were 45 when you finally went in, and God bless you, you didn't have your mom to help you and support you along that journey, but I did have my mom, do have my mom, thank goodness, and she still taught me the wrong way to do it and also she was learning misinformation passed down from her mom, and I also was just so embarrassed as a teenager that I like didn't want her to come in and help, and so we're all guessing, like everybody's just guessing, and it's so interesting because when we started this call, you were putting on lipstick and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go put on some lipstick too." And like as people, as humans, but especially as women, we tend to say like, "Oh my gosh, Lisa, that color's so great on you. What color is it? Tell me everything." Or like da 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 yada yada. And yet we never say to each other like, "Girl, your boobs look good. What bra are you wearing? Oh, a 36E is the same as a double D in that brand. Amazing." Like no one talks about this. We don't know these things. And so I don't blame anybody. I don't think it's anyone's fault that we don't know, but it's my job to help us have that basic information so that we can make loving and informed decisions. And I loved Lisa, I loved what you said about no one else could see it. It's for me. I've been with the same partner, the same man for almost 15 years. And yet the number one reason I wear beautiful undergarments or soft undergarments or fun color undergarments or boring just makes my clothes look good undergarments, whatever, is for me. And it's one of the coolest tools because we can mostly wear it underneath our clothing and we never have to show it to other people, usually. And that means we can make some time for exploration. Like, what do I like? How do I want to feel today? Some affirmation. So, I work a lot with the trans community, and transgender folks may not look on the outside how they feel on the inside. And so, that layer between inside and outside, which I call underneath, what's underneath your clothing, they can test there, they can explore there, they can safely be themselves there without having to come out to the world. And so, it's a really safe place for them to explore and for good and bad reasons, lingerie tends to be very gendered. It tends to be very binary, man or woman. That's it, right? There are absolutely some gender neutral, gender fluid, and non-gendered underwear out there these days. Thank goodness. But sometimes it's actually so helpful and affirming for people to wear undergarments that are gendered in a certain way that affirms who they are. It's really awesome. So anyway, yeah, you can wear it for you. If someone else sees it, good for them. But if not, like you're walking on the street feeling like $1 million. And then that investment piece you talked about, that's so key. I have, for anyone listening who is also like in their, 45, 55 and going in for the first time, you are not alone. It is totally okay. My top clients are always like 55 years old and they came into me in the boutique that I was working in. And typically speaking, that person is around menopause age and our body's changing in at menopause. They typically um, breasts get fuller again. And so it's almost like this second puberty. And they're like, whoa, 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 what's happening to my body? Also, typically by that age, that generation at least, if they had kids, their kids were out of the house and they had this time and resource and just desperate need to like get their bras rechecked again. And they come to me and we go over how bra sizing actually works and why a double D in this size is not the same as a double D in that band. And they're like, "What?" And they're like, "I'm 55. How did I never know this?" And I'm like, "Do you have someone who's 20 in your life? Bring them into me." Let's start it there. Um, but they are like ready to make that investment. I want to encourage people, investment is different for everybody, but your time investment, your, going in to get a fitting or go shopping for bras, like it's a time investment. So that's one investment you can make. And then the amount that you spend on bras is completely up to you. I have a budget friendly blog post that talks about bras and one budget and another budget and another budget. I typically say that a really good price range in the US at least is $55 to $85 for a good bra. Some people are like, "What? That is so much." You can absolutely get bras that cost less than that. You are definitely getting what you pay for. But bras that are like 20 bucks and under to me are typically only come in a small size range and aren't really, really great quality. And then, of course, you can shop for bras that are 125 upwards of $300. I used to work for La Perla where bras, I sold a $575 US bra. Like, it was insane. And so you don't need to spend that much on a bra for it to fit well and for it to feel good. Really, all it needs is to be the size and style that works for you and your shape. It's just like shoes almost, or jeans. It just needs to like really work for your body and help you feel like who you want to be that day. That's it.
Yeah, it was really a great experience to
Hooray. I'm
go.
so glad.
Yeah. And then I think when we met, I was like, no, no, no. I went in and she measured and she explained and she was like, yeah, this is like 150 or 40 pieces and that's going to
Yes.
really support you. And I was like, you know what? This is the one that I feel the best in. I'm grateful that it's going to say
Good
yes.
for
You know what I
you.
mean? And
Bras are no joke. Well-made bras are no joke. They're built like a bridge or like the Eiffel Tower. Like there's a lot of pieces in construction that go into them and tons of math and it's just a whole thing. So I'm so glad that you did that. That's awesome.
yeah, and I'm so glad that I did because now I met somebody like you that can explain like the importance to like young people, people who are like you said, the other transgender community or whomever, because again, I can't really emulate that experience any other way for our audience here at Releasing 100. You mentioned menopause changes your
Right.
body. Um, I know for me, the consistency of my breasts and just like everything is kind of changing. Like I remember my girlfriends talking about this. I mentioned this to you and they're like, yeah, things are not the same anymore. And I'm doing whatever I can, honestly, to just stay like aging gracefully. Right. So
Yeah.
the bras really do make me feel better. Like I just noticed like my posture was different and like you see things in magazines or and you think you're doing the right thing and so when I actually went to a professional and I think as you age you just go to pros. You just go, you're the pro. Okay, I trust
Yeah.
you.
Totally.
And you walk out feeling great, whether it's skincare, hair care. And this is what I'm trying to teach my daughter, right? Like I want her
Love.
to
Yeah.
understand this, right? So
Yeah.
as you know, you've heard like I will invite her to participate in some of the things that I'm learning now so that she can actually shave off that whatever 30 plus year
Yes.
gap
Good job,
between us.
mama.
Thank you. I love
Yeah.
her dearly, so I will make the
Hooray.
investment for her. But that's what really kicked it for me was like
Yeah.
the
Good.
investment. And so I love that you're saying time is one of them.
Totally. It is.
Yeah. So what are some of the other ones that people in your world need to do in order to like activate the self-love through undergarments?
Well, I want to go back to your other question too about
Sure.
like how my business model changing and how do you do this? And so as an educator, I actually don't usually sell bras. I do have blog posts right now with buy and try sections of like bras that I think are really great and you can go and buy them right there. But I don't have like an e-commerce store and I don't have a retail store of my own. I don't manufacture or design bras or any of that stuff. So I usually partner with amazing brands that already exist and I am a marketer really and market their products either on my site or on television and educate, just like use some other people's bras to educate people on like how to wear bras, how to choose the best bra for you, how to size yourself. And then I also do offer virtual bra coachings. I call them bra coachings because it's different to fit someone in person and then to fit someone on virtually. And I think of this as a coaching session where it's 2 sessions, and so I do very few of these a month right now. Some bra shops right now, because of the pandemic, I started doing virtual fittings too, and I actually taught a workshop with the lingerie industry and how to get started in your virtual fittings. So you can look at those too and see if someone's available for you. But mine are 2 sessions. And in session one, we sort of figure out like, where are you now? And how do your bras fit? And do you understand how sister sizing works? Or do you understand the difference between a double D and an E in a UK brand? And that part alone, like, just blows people's minds. The like, that's the part where they're like, I'm 55. How did I not know this? This is bananas. Like, that part is kind of exciting. And then the self love part comes in right away when we talk about how do you feel in your bras now and how do you want to feel? Like, imagine what it would feel like for you if you opened up your bra drawer wherever you keep your bras, and instead of in the morning going like, ugh, if I have to, instead opening it up and being like, okay, how do I want to adorn and support myself today? Not just my physical body, which is a huge complicated relationship for a lot of people, right? But also, like, bras are right over the heart. And so if that part of the body has, and these are the 3 things I work on with every client, has any shame, confusion, or discomfort. Those are the 3 things. So confusion meaning like, how do bra sizes even work? What the heck is the difference between a double D and an E? Discomfort meaning my underwire's digging in, my straps are falling off, my shoulders are killing me. Or shame, they're too big, they're too small, they're too saggy. One's bigger than the other. They don't look like when I was 20, whatever, right? Whatever shame or stories we have around that part, that has to be addressed too. I can't just put you in a bra that fits well and expect you to then go home every day and feel good putting it on and taking it off. So we address that right away in the coaching. And then we also use what I call More Than My Numbers, which is a campaign I did a long time ago, when we measure you, because that was the number one thing I noticed in the bra fitting room. Every time I measured someone, they do that thing where I'd wrap the measuring tape around them and they go, like, hold it all in, like, oh my gosh, maybe as small as possible. Because we're taught that smaller is better. We're taught that thinner is more valuable. And so I can't blame anyone for doing that, but I'm hoping to help people release, speaking of releasing,
Mhm.
that old idea. And so I tell people, and it's easier, to be honest, when I'm fitting you in person. So I've had to come up with new techniques to help people measure themselves and to release any of the fear and shame and take breaths and lower their shoulders. I tell them, like, take a deep breath in and out. Okay, cool. And they'll just breathe like a human because they're just like breathing like, And so they do that. So we measure, and then we talk about how that number is information, not a definition of who you are. That
Love that.
alone, right there, like, helping people understand that a double D doesn't make you a certain person, or wearing a 38 or a 46 or a 56 band doesn't make you any different than a person who's wearing a 28 or a 30 or a 32 band. Like, that part right there is really what I love to work on. And then, of course, we talk about, like, okay, how do you want to feel in your bras? I give them a whole bunch of stuff to go shopping for and have fun and declare their own budget and investment in this. And then they usually order online or at their favorite shop in their, if they're local. And then they bring them home and we try them on together in the second session. And I'm
Nice.
telling you, like, I've had bra non-believers who are like, I just don't even want to wear a bra. I just need like 2 or 3 just to like get myself through like Zoom calls. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And then by the end of it, they're like, buying new bras. They got like 7 new ones. They've got a sassy style. They're like, I just want to wear this one for fun around the house. Like, they just totally open up a whole new possibility of way of loving yourself, adorning yourself, feeling sassy, feeling held, feeling supported, or feeling free. So again, I want to reiterate, like, I'm not a crazy bra person that's going to come into your home and be like, Lisa, where are your bras? Like, if the most loving and informed decision is to not wear a bra that day, or to wear a stretchy bralette, or to wear, something like nipple covers, I don't care. Like, that is up to you, and you get to make that decision. You are the decision maker of you and what you do with your body. But I want to make sure that you're making that decision with all of the options and all of the well-fitting options and all of the self-care, self-love options out there, and not just, well, they never freaking fit and I hate them and I don't want to wear them. That's not a loving decision. That's a, limited knowledge decision. So yeah, so that's how we work with people now. That's how I work with people now. So you can always schedule a virtual fitting with me, or I have lots of free resources on my site. And I want to address another thing that you said too about sending your daughter into the professional. I freaking love this. Like, yes, mama, send her in. You're the best. And I think of bras and bra fitters like almost like a dentist or a mechanic, right? But like
I
this is,
agree.
or like a lawyer, like bra fitters, if they're a really trained bra fitter and they've been fitting like me, like thousands of people and seen like a billion bodies, that person is a skilled tradesperson. Like we should have degrees. We should be paid like a lawyer is paid because it is so much work and we know so much. Like I can see someone's strap and basically say like, "Oh, that's the 85567 from Wacol. Oh, and that's that color." Like our brains are so full with all of this knowledge and there's so many bras out there.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think you or your daughter or anyone needs to become a bra fit expert in order to wear undergarments well. What I do think everybody needs, whether they shop with a really awesome fitter, they shop on loan by them on loan, they shop online by themselves, or they go into a department store and have like a very limited knowledge fitter helping
Mhm.
them, they still need to know the basics themselves. Every person needs to know the basics. So if you own a car and you
Mhm.
take your car to the mechanic, they know more about your car than you do. You
Mhm.
still need to know how often to bring it in, when to change the oil, how to gas it up, like the basic maintenance of owning a car. Same thing with bras. You do not need to know that one bra is the 85567 from Walcol and this year they added an H cup, right? You don't need to know that. But you do need to know how your bra should fit, how bra sizes work, and how to tell when you need a new bra. That
Yeah.
is the key.
Yeah. And I will say I've gone through Hooray Kame,
All
and
right.
I have, and you have a plethora of resources of the sister sizing and all that. I think once I got into undergarment world and like I just found a set that I really like, true to form, like even the shirt that I'm and set that I'm wearing. Like once I like something and I know I just buy one in every
Like,
color that I want
yeah, 10 of
and then
them.
I'm
Yeah.
done, right? Like, well, I just became, I think for my lifestyle, it was just easier to do that. And so for me,
True.
it was like, what color? Because I already knew I felt good in it. And so, like you said, everyone is different. And to come
Yep.
from this empowered, loving space, just do what works for you. Just
Exactly.
do what works for
Exactly.
you.
Exactly.
So I do want to pivot a little bit, if you got anything
Please.
else to add,
No.
about actually releasing weight, because this is all
Okay, great.
about the releasing weight part. And so the funniest thing happened right before I met you. I was like just teeter-tottering for the last 5 months over like this 5 pounds. Like, what was I doing? And I realized it was like I didn't want to let go of my collection that I had
Oh, the
already
bras.
amassed, right? Because it
Yeah.
was like
Oh,
I would get one and then I would get the matching whatever a couple weeks later and then I would get another, set or whatever
yeah.
would happen and I would just build it and then I was like, I can't even go back in to see like what size I am or do I want to make another
Mm,
investment because I've got, another number to release. Um,
yeah.
can you address that? Because I know you even said like women who get older, like, should I just keep what I have? Because I might, like, I'm
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
sure what to do at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, um, in your opinion, like, what is the mechanics of it? And then what is
Yeah.
the psychology behind that?
Oh my gosh, I love that you said mechanics and psychology. I was gonna say there's like a practical, logistical part of this, and then there's like an emotional component. So I totally agree with you. So I will say, everybody's body is different. Every weight loss journey and weight release journey is different. And I actually admitted to you or before we started recording or before the show that I'm in the opposite place. I've gained weight and my body is bigger than before, and I have this is no judgment, y'all. I have like 200 bras. And I have bras that I bought in Paris that like that have like these emotional memories to me. I mean, I'm a bra collector. I love them. And I was upset the other day because I saw this picture of me in this bra that makes me feel like $1,000,000. And I was like, I'm going to go put that on. And I put it on. It was clearly too small. I wasn't upset that my body had changed. Truly. I love my body and I think she looks great. I feel great. I'm getting very healthy right now, so it's all great. It's all good. Um I was mad that my sexy bra from Paris didn't fit anymore and that brand is actually being absorbed by another brand and I can't get it and the only one I could find was in a peach color and they only ship to France and I was like, who do I know in France that I can have this sent to? Like it was like a whole sad thing. And I was sort of joking with you that I don't care how spoiled or bougie that sounds. That for me brings me pleasure and joy in my life. That for me helps me honor and love my body. And now I don't have that self love tool at my fingertips as often or in as many things that fit right now. So I totally hear you on this. And it is hard to make that investment and then be like, I guess I'm never going to wear those again. And we don't know that. So the practical part of this is because everyone's body is different, 5 pound weight release on one person might signify, oh, time to get your bra size checked. If you are a 120-pound person and you lose 5 pounds and you're like 5'1", right? And you lose 5 pounds, that's going to change your body dynamic already right there. For other people, their breasts and their underbust, which are the two main parts of the bra fit that we have to like measure and see how things are going, might not change with 30 pounds. I doubt it, but just even a little bit can change the consistency of your breast tissue for sure. Your rib cage and around you as well. And breasts are just made of fatty tissue. That's it. There's no ligament. That's like it's just ligaments attaching the breast to the body. There's no muscles. There's nothing that like you can pump up or work out or whatever. And so because it's just made of fatty tissue, when people are on a fat loss journey, right? Like if they're losing fat and not muscle, then they can tend to go down even faster. It's crazy. And again, everybody's body's different. Some people lose from their hips, some people lose from their breasts, some people gain there, some people whatever. So my point is to get really familiar with your numbers and your underbust and your bust measurement. And
Mhm.
if you are already weighing yourself and checking in on that number and you have a healthy relationship with checking in on that number,
Mhm.
this would be another number that you might want to check in on
Yeah.
because if your bust has gone down like 3 inches, girl, it's time for a new bra. So that's what I say about the practical side of it. The other side of it is if you're on an active weight release journey, in other words, you are actively losing 5 pounds, I don't know, a month or whatever. I don't know what be an average for people losing weight, but you're actively losing weight, then my suggestion for you is don't wait to be happy and feel good now. That you can invest in what I call like your get through bras. So like 2 or 3 bras, that's it. And they can be lower price point. They don't have to be the gorgeous $150 bras. They don't have to be whatever. That just like help you feel comfortable and feel good for now. And if you want to get one expensive bra as you're going down, you can. That's up to you. That's not my suggestion. And I suggest that you get it with the hook. Usually I say on the loosest hook so that way as it stretches, you can go in. Definitely if you're on a weight release journey, get it on the loosest hook. And you might, even if you're like in between band sizes, get it on the band size that's just a little bit snugger than the other one. Make sure you can still breathe. So that way as your body is going down, you have more room to move in on the back and that band can still fit. Same thing with the cups. If you're in between cup sizes, I usually ask people like, are you on your period right now? You're in your cycle right now. Are your breasts bigger than normal? Great. Then we know as we're fitting you, we're going to maybe like fit to this now, but maybe if you're in between cup sizes, we'll go with the cup size that's a little bit smaller if it's flexible. So that way we can fit you for more of the month. Same thing with weight loss. So if you're releasing weight and you're in between cup sizes, you can go down. The emotional part of this is you really have to ask yourself, do I feel happy in what I own now? And for you, Lisa, yours was a little bit different of like, am I ready to release those bras because of my investment? But also
Yeah.
like, yeah, but like what what do you need to release in order to get what you want in your life?
Yeah.
Like that's a very common manifestation thing, like out with the old, in with the new. Like you have to create space energetically, literally for the things that you want in your life. And if you're holding on to stuff, bras, whatever in your life that are taking up room, you can, that's what you're going to be with. That's you're going to be stuck with those forever. So not forever, but for until you release again. So I highly suggest using it as a really cathartic, beautiful way to like release and let go. And especially when people are gaining weight, that can be tricky because they're hoping maybe again in our culture that they're going to get back down to that size or they're going to fit into that one day again. So if that's you too, I just want to send you some love because it's really okay for you to release bras and things that no longer fit, trusting that you will have the opportunity to repurchase should you need to again, and you're going to have a different body and a different lifestyle then anyway. So it's okay to like go through and celebrate at each step up and down in your weight and treat yourself. One final thing I want to say about bras is that if you have bought really awesome bras and your body's changed or your lifestyle's changed or you got pregnant or whatever, and you're like, man, what do I do with these awesome bras? If they're in really great condition, you can actually donate them to some organizations. I've already shared these with Lisa. They're both based in the US, but one also serves people domestically here in the US called I Support the Girls. And then the other one serves people in other countries called Free the Girls. And they both have similar but different missions and how they support people. I won't go into it. Look them up. It is worth it. They are amazing. And then if you have bras that you have just like truly worn to death, or like the underwire has popped out, or like you accidentally put in the dryer, please don't do that on purpose ever. Then you can actually send them to the Bra Recyclers, which is a company in Arizona in the States, and they are a textile recycling company, and they take them and repurpose them into other things. So you can release them for a good cause.
Yeah. I want to really thank you for that because what, like literally a week or two before I met you, I just got clear. I
Wow.
was like, why am I not, like, what is preventing me? And then it was that whole experience of like going to the lingerie store, getting fitted, developing, and I don't know if it was really the money investment. It was just knowing that I wasn't going to, or believing that I wasn't going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
replace them, and then I didn't know what to do. So really, again, in this magical life that I live, it was like you walked in and now we're having this conversation because I know I'm not alone. I
Yes.
cannot be alone in
Yeah.
this whole conversation, and you're affirming that. So making it normal
Hooray.
and making it
Yeah.
okay. I'm now again on this journey, and so yeah, I'll go and I'll get a couple of things, and
Yeah.
I likely will book a session with you now, knowing that I'm on that journey. Um, and so, because I can't get into the store to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll know in a
Exactly.
couple of
Yeah.
days. I'll know in a couple of days if our city is going to open up again, so that
Oh,
I'll be able to
hooray.
go in. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I am definitely that person that just wants to go in and like, can you just tell
Yeah.
me what it is? And now that I know what it is, I can
Yeah.
go and I can just get it fitted and then just be like, yeah, I'm infamous for, hey, this is who I am. And they have your name and are any new colors come in this season? And they'll say yes. And I'll be like, okay, I'm going to come by next week and pick them
I
up. And I
love
just want to
clients like you.
just pick it up. I don't need to come back in. However, I do need to get fitted. You know what I
You
mean?
sure do. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the
Thank you.
thing too. Like, oh, and here's the thing. You are a take the car to the mechanic, get my oil changed kind of
Right.
gal, right? There are going to be some people who are like, listen, I'm going to look up on YouTube how to change the oil in my car myself. So everybody's different. Either way, I want you to just know, I'm going to reiterate for this and everyone out there. There are tools and out there for you to be able to do this. Like
Yeah.
as your body is changing and you have to resize yourself, fitters are amazing and I can fit somebody with my eyes closed and my hands behind my back, right? So like fitters are an awesome valuable resource, and if you can't get into one right now, you can do this. I
Yeah.
promise. Like I've got tools for you to do this.
She does.
So
Lots
you'll
of
be
them.
okay. You will be okay.
Lots of them, honestly, like, and I didn't know what to do with my undergarments. I think that was the other one that I just really, is somebody going to take like my used stuff? Like, even though I cared for it with the products they gave me when I bought them, they're like, this is what you need to do. And I never put my stuff in the washer, let alone the dryer.
Hooray. That's a
Yeah.
huge hooray.
Right.
Thank you
Like,
so
I was
much.
just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like and then you learn to develop like this routine of like, oh my God, I love all these things, and like just
Oh, I
how to
love
care
you for
for
saying this.
them, and just like I feel great in them. I don't care what anybody else is saying. Like like it's just such a really personal space. And I think in this journey of releasing things that are not serving you, it was
Hmm.
a really it was a real thing. Like, you got to think, like, 150 days I've been bouncing around, and I didn't even realize what it was
Yeah, yeah.
until one day I was like, oh, they don't, I mean, it literally took the underwire poking my back rib
Oh dear.
to be
Yeah.
like, this is clearly uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love
Yes.
you, undergarment, but you're not serving me in the highest way anymore. And so, and
Look
then
at
in
how you
walked,
talk to them. I love it. It's great.
right? I was
So good.
like, in walks Hooray Kimmay on one of my meets. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
Here we
So,
go. Meant to be with each other. Also, here's the thing too, like you're so willing. I just want to thank you because you're so willing to like be honest about what it was that was holding you back. And um, for a lot of people going in to buy new bras, if their body is changing up or down, that is the thing I think that stops them. Like they're like, "Oh, this is so much work," or what if they're gonna tell me I'm a size I don't wanna be, or it's just so much an investment of my time and my money and all of that stuff. And so again, I'm so thankful that you're so honest about that, because and even if it's a slightly different angle, I think that's what's stopping a lot of people from going in. So
No,
we all
100%.
want to be able to just like go to a bra rack and be like, that's my size 34B, amazing, and put it on. It's going to fit. It's not how that works. Like, that's why I say bras are like jeans. My friend and I could potentially actually even wear the same number size and jeans, but her torso is a different shape than mine, and my butt's a different shape than hers. And so we are going to wear different jeans that fit well on us.
Yeah.
And so it's really okay to like do some trial and error, try some different stuff, see what works well. And there's a billion bras out there. I have some great options on my site, but there's not a lack. When people tell me there's no bra that fits me, I'm telling you there's probably 40 bras that fit you well.
Yeah.
And you are either a size, like if it were jeans or shoes, like you're a size 7 shoe trying to fit into a 5.
Yeah.
Or like you're a size 4 pants, but you have a high waist and you're buying the low rise. It's
Yeah.
okay that you don't know that right now, but you
Yeah.
can inform yourself. It does take some effort, and you can inform yourself. One thing I just want to add finally here is that I'm declaring this out loud because we are in that mastermind together, and
Mhm.
I'm pivoting slightly in what I'm offering, because I did like a full year of offering this really awesome thing that I love. And I decided, you know what, it's finally time for me to bring out this thing that I've been dreaming of forever. And it is sort of taking all of that education that you see on my site, or that I share on TV, or that I teach at like the bra fitting workshops in Paris and all those places, and making it really accessible and easy and fun, and walking people just like you, actually maybe not you because you're already so educated, but walking people who need the support of like, how the heck does this work, and adding in that self-love component of how can I make this bra shopping experience enjoyable and fun, and how can I feel like a goddess during it, and how can I purchase things that help me like light up every day, like make that process so easy. So that's coming 2021. I think I feel like stay tuned to Hurray Kimmay, y'all, because you're gonna be the first. You're like the first to hear about it right here on this podcast.
I love it. And I want to thank you for acknowledging me in my journey. And I want to thank you for doing your journey, because I think, one, we don't celebrate ourselves enough, and that you actually understood what I was going through like immediately. Um,
Hmm.
because it has been a journey, like to acknowledge that. And the fact that you are educating people about, like, literally, I thought at some point I must have thought something was wrong, because I couldn't just go to the rack, and I was like, why does it feel funny? And now I
Hmm.
recognize the feeling component is such a big part of creating a magical life, creating um,
Yes.
like all of it. It really does come down to how are you feeling.
Yep.
um,
Yep.
and then you can figure out the how. um, I have really learned through undergarments, the underneath part, like, I really, really, this is one part of my womanhood that is not up for debate. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
it is
Love.
really, yeah, like it's such a big component. And I want my daughter to experience the same thing, like this loving yourself. And what does like you said, it could be a $50 bra, it could be a $575 bra, but how
Sure.
does it make you feel and how does it fit you? And it really was a game changer for me. And so as I enter my next phase, I'm very excited to see what the new undergarments are going to look like and feel like. And um, stay tuned. I'll let you guys know what I do with my other loved stuff. Um,
Hooray.
yeah,
Can't
like,
wait.
I know, I'm so super excited. And this is, I think if I hadn't met you, I wouldn't have made a podcast about this, because it is so super personal and you kind of just normalized it. You're like, this is what I do.
It's another Thursday for me, babe.
So congratulations on all your success. Like, I know that you're going to be back on TV again really soon talking about what you love, and
I hope
congratulations
so.
on the success of your new program that you're going to be launching. So excited
Thank
that our audience
you.
heard about it. So
Yeah.
if you have ever felt any shame around your body, I say call her, because she gets it. And I love the non-judgmental part of it, because I think we do so much of that on our own already. Um,
Hmm.
And also, you can really learn a lot about the sister sizing. Like I didn't learn about that until I went into the fitting room, and she was like, "What size do you think?" I was like, "I don't know. Like I'm here so that you can tell me what I need to do, and like just bring me the bras, right? Like just try them on." And it is time. Like I don't. How long are your sessions? Let's tell people that, because I know I was in there for about an hour.
Yeah, typically, so when I used to shop with people in New York City, when we go to stores together, we would at least spend 2 hours together and sometimes longer. And people are like, that's bananas. How could you possibly do that? Now, listen, that was when I was doing bra coaching. So when I would have someone come in just for a regular fitting in the bra shops, we typically spend like 30 minutes to an hour together. That's pretty usual. But when I do like a bra coaching and we're coming up with mantras for you to say to yourself or affirmations for you to say to yourself, or really getting into like how do you actually feel in your bras and connecting on a human level, not just a bra level, and you're like revamping your whole bra wardrobe, we would spend 2 hours together at least.
Yeah.
So on my virtual sessions, in the 2 sessions, we allot about 45 minutes per session. It's so funny. I just fit someone the other day who was like 45 minutes, like, what, how long does it take for me to slap a measuring tape around me and like measure myself? Like, I can't believe it. And then in the session she was like, oh, I see what we're doing here. So usually it's 45 minutes each. I don't want to, it's exhausting work, so I don't want you to like get exhausted and like not be able to continue on. But sometimes we go a little bit over, but
Yeah.
usually I would say it's like a 2 hour session just chunked up into
Right.
two different sessions.
So the pre-buy and the post-buy.
Correct,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see that because it did take an hour, like to sort of, they got to measure you, there's like this certain rapport that you got to build, and then you got to start trying stuff on, right? It's like,
yeah,
oh, do you like this one? Oh no, I don't really like that. And then it was like, what about this one? And it was like, okay. And then, what about this one? And so once
yeah.
I found the one, I was like, I'm done. Just I will come back when I'm ready to get
Yeah,
another
it's
one.
exhausting. You're like, okay, I don't
I
want to try
start
any more
It gets
bras.
hot. You're under
It
bright
does.
lights,
It's
you
a
know what I mean?
workout.
It is,
It
and
sure
I was just like,
does.
"Ugh." However, when you find the right one,
It's worth it.
it's you cannot go back. Like,
Yeah,
I there's no going back after that, right? So that's why I was like, I didn't
I
wanna let
agree.
it go, right? And so,
Yeah,
um, I loved when you talked about that because there's this thing that I always say in all of the podcasts that I do. It's like you got to become aware, you got to label it, then you got to experience it, and then you can let it go. And once you let it go,
absolutely.
greatness happens. And so I love that
Yeah,
you also that's essentially what you're saying in this whole like
yeah,
make room. And
yeah.
so if this speaks to you on any level, just reach out to her, and check out the Hooray Kame. We're going to put that on the description. And is there anything else that you want to leave before we or say before we part?
Two things. One is just how to reach me. So hurraykimmay.com, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, you're going to have it underneath the podcast, and that's HURRAYKIMMAY.com. And also I'm at Hooray Kimmay for like everything. I'm that kind of person that when I come to podcasts, I literally want people who are listening to this right now or watching this right now, send me a DM. Like send me a DM in my inbox on Instagram. I'm not that fancy. I don't get like a billion of them right now. So like send me a DM and I like tell me what a takeaway was that you had, or tell me what you learned,
Love
or
it.
ask me for advice, and I will send you a blog post to something that will support you. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, when you're talking about body shame and the non-judgment thing, I just want to be really clear with everybody here, because some of you can see me, that I am a pretty privileged physical human. So that means I'm white presenting. I'm actually Latina, but I'm white presenting. I look like a white girl. I have like a size 4'6" body. I'm very able-bodied, and I'm pretty healthy, right? So I have a lot of privilege in this body, and I'm cisgendered, I'm in a heterosexual marriage, like all the privileges that come with this, right? And yet, the people that I've worked with in New York City and in Paris and all over the world, and now I live in rural Oklahoma, so like totally different kind of human, but yet, whether I was selling a $5 bra, a $55 bra, a $500 bra, whether it was in Paris, France, or anywhere else, I witnessed the most intimate, vulnerable experiences of people of every kind of background you could possibly imagine, of every size, of every gender, of every need, of every physical difference in that fitting room. So I just want to assure you that, like, I am very trained and experienced to support you in whatever it is that you're going through. And I too I had a really horrible relationship with my body, and when I looked at myself, I said the mean things. And it was only like, I think everybody should be a bra fitter for a week, Lisa. Oh my gosh. The things you see in there. It was so a part of my journey and learning to talk nice to myself and to love myself and my body, because I realized every single person that came into that fitting room had something negative to say in the mirror. Every single one. And I usually couldn't even see what they were talking about. So I realized very quickly what a waste of time it was for me to talk to myself that way, and how important that fitting experience was to support someone beyond the bra. So, yeah, I just want to invite everybody to come experience that, either with me or whomever. I think there's awesome fitters out there. And like I said, come get the basic information with me, and then you can go off to your mechanic later.
I want to thank you for offering that to our audience, like to really be available and to share specific resources with them, because I know when I first met you, I was like, okay, I did have that intimate conversation and I had a great experience, and that's what really kept me going back, right? To get more stuff
Hmm.
was that experience. And I'm excited to, possibly get that experience again on Monday. if they
Hooray!
open if they
Can't
open
wait.
up our city. And if not, like I definitely will give your virtual one a run and then see what you recommend as a.
You have many options. I'm sure
I
you are
love it.
supported no matter what.
I love it. And that's what people need to know, right? So thank you again for doing what you love and showing up in the world doing like just these awesome things, like your courses and your resources, and just like going on TV talking about stuff that most people don't talk about. Like I don't really talk about undergarments with my friends. Like, but sure as hell we'll talk about like what is happening with our bodies. So
Right.
that concept is going to be, when I hear it, I'm going to be like, can you please log on to Hurray Kimmay and just DM her whatever you're about to say to me, because I don't want to hear it. I'm
Yeah,
going to start saying that.
send your friends
I'm
my way. If they start
going to
complaining about their
totally,
bras, send them my way.
yeah, I'm
Happy. And,
totally going to do it.
and Lisa, thank you so much for having me. This has been such a pleasure. I love talking about this stuff. This is my jam. So this has been a treat. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being willing. So everybody, this is Hooray Kimmay Caldwell, and I'm so grateful for you. And we're signing off right now. So if you need to DM her, do it.
Do it.
Thanks.
DM
Thanks.
me. Hooray.
Thanks for joining us.